Let's bring in Ted Williams, Fox News contributor and former police detective in Washington, D.C. Ted, good to see you. The reporting is now starting to really find out more about how he was radicalized. It appears he reportedly traveled to Egypt in 2023. There's going to be a lot of questions about how that affected his thinking, and then also really how he got radicalized. That's really at the center of this now, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. It is at the center. I got to tell you, Brian, this really touches home. I'm from the great state of Louisiana, from Lake Charles, Louisiana. And I went down for Fox, and it's hard to believe that I, also a military veteran, that another military veteran would kill 14 of our citizens on behalf of a foreign terrorist group, ISIS. And so right now, what is going on, Brian, is that the Federal Bureau of Investigation is backtracking, trying to determine how did this soldier, this so-called soldier, become radicalized, and what happened here. When I look at everything here, and the fact that once he got to New Orleans, that he rented an Airbnb, and upon leaving that Airbnb, he tried to burn the place down. He was not successful, left a great deal of evidence there. There's evidence also, Brian, in Houston, Texas, at his home that the FBI has now, that they have in their possession. As a result of that, they're trying now to determine, was ISIS directly in contact with Jabbar, and that led him to go into New Orleans and to kill these wonderful folk there?
Yeah, the FBI says it's 100% true that he was inspired. Whether or not it went further to him being directed, we shall see in this investigation. There is a lawsuit that has been filed by a law firm there on behalf of at least one victim against the city of New Orleans, saying that this attack was foreseeable and preventable. A lot of attention on the fact that the city had these sidewalk barriers, but they were not put in place. In fact, the New Orleans police superintendent had no idea that they even existed. Do you believe that this was a foreseeable and preventable attack?
I believe that the city of New Orleans is not only negligent, but they're grossly negligent. I can tell you as a lawyer, I anticipate and expect many and numerous lawsuits to be brought against the city of New Orleans there. They should have been better prepared. They had two cars that they put into place where these bloggers were when they were doing some kind of a repair. The terrorists decided to go around the two cars onto the sidewalk and to kill these various people and to injure so many. That, to me, is not negligence. That is gross negligence. And I think the city is going to be held accountable.
And ultimately, what do you make of the report, real quick here, Ted, that he potentially used a rare chemical compound? I mean, this was in the making of his bombs, Jabbar did. This was particularly sophisticated.
Brian, that's going to be part and parcel of this investigation. The sophisticated nature of the materials that he had possession of. Where did he get them? How did he get them? And who else perhaps may very well have been involved from, let's say, ISIS in this? Because let me make sure we're clear. We have many, many sleeper cells in this country.
Yep, this is something we need to continue to pay attention. The FBI has warned us for months now that this was one of their top concerns. Fox News contributor Ted Williams. Ted, thank you.